Hi guys, it's Sydney and welcome to Savory Sav. So today we are going to be making a twofer. Yes, I know y'all remember the Mr. Allen's 29 2 for 50. So today we are going to be making two completely different recipes with the same main ingredient. So our start of the show today is going to be these garbanzo beans, aka chickpeas. So we're going to be making a chickpea tuna recipe and then a chickpea curry. First, we are going to start with chopping up some celery and onion. You want them to be pretty finely diced since they're going to be going into your mixture. So just make sure you cut them up super small, super fine, so they're not too chunky when you mix it all together. All right, so now that our celery and our onion is nice and diced up, next you're gonna need a large mixing bowl, like so. And we are going to add our celery and onion to our bowl. Okay, so I use 1 can of chickpeas for this recipe. And you're gonna rinse and drain those and add them to your pot. Perfect. All right, then I added 1 can of hearts of palm, and you just want to cut those up into about 1-inch slices, and you're going to add these next. Boom. So that's it for our main ingredients. Next, we're going to add some vegan mayo. I would say roughly about 1/3 cup, just like that. So you can definitely adjust. You can add more or less depending on how you like it. I like mine to still have a bit of texture. I don't want it to get too mushy. So I tend to be shy about it and kind of, add more as I see fit. All right, now we're gonna season this up. So I'm adding some garlic powder, onion powder, some cayenne I put in there, a little bit of cumin, a little bit of umami, a little bit of salt. This is a little mixture of pink salt and sea salt that I added. Some smoked paprika. Some Old Bay, of course. We do want it to taste like seafood. And finally, I have some kelp granules. So this is the magic ingredient that really will have your chickpea tuna tasting like tuna. So now we're just gonna mix this all up. And as you mix it, make sure you can use a fork or even use your hands and press down a bit so the chickpeas and the hearts of palm get mashed a little bit. All right, I'm gonna add a little more mayo. Scoop that like that. So if you need to, you can even get a potato masher and mash it up a little bit more. You want the consistency to be, as close to tuna as possible. So I like mine personally to be pretty textured because I don't want it to get like soupy or taste like a bowl of mayonnaise. So I just mash it until, it's kind of congealing together, but not super runny. All right, to top this off, we're just gonna add a little sprinkle of nooch, of course, as always. Just a little bit. You don't need a lot for this. I would say 1 tablespoon or less. And then we're going to squeeze half a lemon, and this will be all done. So if you have a food processor or even a blender, this recipe could definitely easily be made in either one of those, but this is more catered to just your average Joe who might not have all the equipment, so it can definitely just as easily be made by hand as well. I don't miss y'all. Okay, so you can eat this as is. It pairs great alone. You can dip some celery sticks in it if that's more your vibe. But I'm going to be assembling a sandwich with mine. So this would be perfect for like a quick lunch, or you can even make this ahead of time and just have it throughout the week if you're a person who likes, like the meal prepping steez. you know, do your thing. It's all about choices. So for our sandwich, I'm just gonna take a few slices of vegan cheese. I am using the brand Ciao by Feel Roast. This is honestly the best vegan sliced cheese there is. Like, the consistency is really just unmatched. Then we're going to scoop a nice amount of our tuna onto our bread. Next, I'm just gonna do a few cucumber ribbons. Oof, looking so good. All right, now we're just gonna add a couple tomatoes. And finally, just a few sprigs of fresh dill to top it off. Ooh, look how good that looks, you guys. All right, let's try it. Honestly, it's the cheese for me. This is just doing everything it needs to be. This is the cheese for me. Cheese for me. It's the cheese for me doing everything it needs to be. I'm gonna take another bite. That dill with the cucumber, perfect. Okay, so for our next meal, we are going to be making a chickpea curry. So you're gonna need some fire roasted diced tomatoes, some coconut milk, 1 can of chickpeas, some red curry paste, red bell pepper. You can also use orange or yellow, you know, whatever floats your boat. We're gonna have some onion and some mushroom. So first, I'm just gonna chop up my vegetables while our rice is cooking. All right, so of course, we're gonna get our pot ready. We're gonna cut the heat on, and we're just gonna add a little olive oil to get it started. All right, after you give your oil a second, you're also gonna add about a teaspoon of some minced garlic. Let's do a little more. I like garlic. Now we're gonna add our peppers and onions to the pot. And we're gonna cook these for about 5 to 7 minutes. You know, let them get soft, not too soft. So we're gonna season this with a little salt, little onion powder, a little garlic powder, and some cayenne. Garlic powder, onion powder, and cayenne are like the trio, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna stir this a little more. Our peppers and onions are looking good. The garlic is smelling really fragrant, which is exactly what we want. So next, we're gonna add our mushrooms. And the trick with these mushrooms for this recipe is you really do not want to overcrowd them, and you don't want to overstir. So if you're a person who really likes mushrooms, I would suggest adding them in batches. So add first couple, and then if you want some more, add some more after that. So they really just have room to sear out, and all the liquid can really just seep out of them, because we do not want a mushy mushroom, okay? Nobody likes that. Don't be afraid to season at every stage either. When it comes to vegan cooking, you really can't over season. The only thing you could overdo is salt, so be aware of that. But everything else, you know, it's like, can something really be too flavorful? Questionable. So I'm just adding some umami, a little more cayenne, a little chili powder, a little cumin like I said before. All right, so our mushrooms are looking nice and seared. They have that nice char on them. Our pan is glazing, which is what we want. So next, we're just going to add our garbanzo beans. All right, then we're gonna add our diced tomatoes. Stir Stir it up good. I think I'm gonna add a little slap your mama because you can never go wrong. It really goes in everything. All right, that should be good. We're gonna add some curry powder here. Stir it up again. Now finally, we are going to add, damn it, where'd y'all put the coconut milk? So I typically add the coconut milk with the fat. I just kind of give it a good stir. I'm gonna start by adding just half of this can, and then I can always add more if needed. And lastly, we're gonna take about a teaspoon of our curry paste. Drop it right on in there. We're gonna stir this up once more. And at this point, you can taste it, see if all the seasonings are to your liking, you know, adjust if necessary, add some more milk if you want it to be a little creamier. But after this, we are really just gonna let this sit for about 15 minutes. I'll do another one. So as a final touch, we're just gonna squeeze some lemon in there to brighten it all up. And let's get to plating this. So to assemble our bowl, I usually start with some rice. Ooh, look how good that rice looks. I just use regular white basmati rice. You could use brown rice, you could use quinoa. Any sort of grain really would work for this. All right, scoop our curry in there. Ooh, my mouth is salivating. All right, now I'm gonna top it with some fresh spinach. Some green peppers. Some fresh cilantro. I love cilantro. It really goes good with everything almost. It just adds such brightness and freshness to the dish. We're gonna add some fresh tomatoes. Boom. And lastly, we're gonna add a little mint chutney. And some mango pickle. These two last things I found at my local Indian foods market. They definitely work perfect as garnishes for this, but they could also be left out if you're not really into the spice or the sour. But you know, it's savory salve, so everything is a little spicy here. Okay, that was lame. But here you have it, our chickpea curry bowl. All right, let's take a bite. Trying to make sure I get a good bite with everything on it. Do y'all see this? I wish you could smell it through the camera. It's like the curry with the rice and all the fresh green ingredients just really bring it together. This would be a perfect quick dinner. We just need something to whip up really quick. This is your guide. There you have it. 2 meals out of our 1-star ingredient, chickpeas, aka garbanzo beans. We made a chickpea tuna and a chickpea curry. You could do one for lunch, one for dinner, whatever floats your boat. If you like this one and you want to see more twofer recipes, let me know in the comment section below. I'll also include the recipes for both recipes I cooked today in the comments as well. And of course, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.